Greetings, everyone. My name is Sinemet Olatunji, My Future MC's Regional Impact Manager for the Southwest region. Welcome to My Future MC's Bite-Sized Webinar Series. Thank you, IBM, for sponsoring the Bite-Sized webinars. Today's session is Where Are They? How do we reach them? North Carolina's Opportunity Youth. During the webinar, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Please note that we don't have a formal Q&A segment during this 20-minute webinar, but our team will reach out if there are any outstanding questions in the chat. One of the data products My Future MC provides is our new 2024 attainment profiles. You can scan the QR code or use the link in the chat to go to our county data and resource page for the latest 2024 profiles. There you will see the county profiles, a 2-pager for each of the 100 counties in North Carolina with local performance from pre-K through 12th grade and college access to workforce alignment. In addition, for the first time this year, we have developed a set of supplemental profiles in response to community needs. Today, we are focusing on the Opportunity Youth section on the front page of the profiles. The state performance is shown here, and you can find your county's or region's performance on the profiles page. Currently for the state, 11% of 16 to 24-year-olds are opportunity youth. That is 1 of every 9. To reach the 9% opportunity youth rate goal, the state needed 25,000 more 16 to 24-year-olds engaged in school or work. North Carolina housed a total of 141,823 opportunity youth in 2022. My Future MC has created a visualization shown here showcasing the latest county level data and its trends. In 2022, counties' opportunity youth rate ranged from 5% to 25%. 22 counties have less than 10% of opportunity youth in the county, while we have 9 counties that have reported 20% or more opportunity youth, highlighting a significant portion of disengaged youth. When looking at trends, 65 out of 100 counties decreased their opportunity youth rates from 2018 to 2022. Notably, Swain, Montgomery, Greene, Vance, and Wilson decreased more than 5 percentage points during this 4-year period. Joining me today, we have the pleasure of Anita Brown-Graham, founder and director of NC Impact, who will tell us about the statewide initiative, Our State, Our Work, and will share a few examples of what NC Impact is doing with community collaboratives to implement positive strategies to significantly expand and deepen education and employment pathways for opportunity youth. Then we'll hear from Sarah Crisp, Director of Work and Burke, on what her organization is doing to decrease the number of opportunity youth on the local level. Anita, welcome.
Next slide, please. So, Sinemet, you're so right that the good news is we have decreased significantly the number of opportunity youth. And I think it's important for people to recognize that we're not just talking about a decrease over 4 years, but in 2020, we had a significant increase as many of these young people found themselves in industry sectors that were completely decimated by COVID-19, fast food, other hospitality, industry, employment, and many of them who were in their later years of high school or early years of community college found themselves unable to quickly pivot toward remote learning. So Carolina Cross 100 is the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill's 5-year bet to do something that supports communities in all 100 counties of the state. And our very first program was helping communities respond to the spike in opportunity youth after COVID. You'll see here a map that reflects the communities that raised their hand and said, yeah, we want to do something about this. We want to partner with the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And over an 18-month period, those communities determined that they wanted to re-engage at least 6,400 opportunity youth That is, again, young people not in school and not working by December 31st, 2024. So January 1st, 2025, we need to wake up knowing that this program has succeeded by re-engaging these 6,400 young people. I want you to look at this map. It's important. We don't define community. We let communities define that for themselves. And for some places, the community is a single county. For some, it may be two counties. But look at how many places, particularly rural places, community by definition, thinking about economies of scale and all the things young adults who are disconnected might need, means you've got to have a regional approach. You'll see associated with those regional approaches numbers. Those numbers reflect how many young adults these community teams have committed to re-engaging. That is either getting them employment or getting them reconnected to education by the end of this year. I don't know about you, but let me just say, this map makes me very happy. It doesn't mean that the work will be over. And in fact, I hope that there are communities represented in this webinar that look at this and get inspired and decide to develop their own vision and metrics on re-engagement. But this is kind of cool. And this is the kind of stuff, I don't know, it only happens in North Carolina. Next slide, please. So it's been 18 months, and you might be asking yourself, what have these community teams accomplished? And before I turn things over to Sarah, who represents one of the teams, let me just brag a little bit, if you'll let me. Already, 185,000 in financial assistance provided to young people just for educational attainment. 25,561 educational employment services provided. This work is not for a single person or even sector. This is work of communities, and across our teams, we have 319 community collaborative partners engaged, and 140 of them have been deeply engaged and have been coming to a number of collaborative learning forums to learn from the experts, but maybe in ways more important to learn from each other. Just to get a sense of where the center of gravity lies for the work. When we started, there was a lot of stuff going on, but it wasn't really focused on opportunity youth. Today, 3,700 plus of total employment services have been delivered to people who absolutely meet the definition of opportunity youth. We respect that there are others who are right on the cusp. They are high risk, and it's important to make sure they don't fall through the cracks. And so you'll see 4,600 of those employment services have been delivered to additional youth. The same is true for educational services. 2,300 total educational services delivered to opportunity youth, 2,327 to additional youth. For those of you who may be math majors and going, okay, I'm adding up the employment services and the educational services, I'm not quite sure how that adds up to 25,000. Here's the message. For each person who is reached, there are several programmatic efforts that need to reach them in order for them to succeed. If you hear nothing else from my presentation, please understand that these are young people for whom the light touch isn't going to be successful. They have to be touched frequently. They have to be touched through various programs in order for us to be successful. Next slide, please. Gina, next slide, please. With that, I'm gonna turn things over to Sarah Crisp, who represents one of our programs, Work and Burke.
Thank you so much. My name is Sarah Crisp, and I'm the program director with Work and Burke. We are a social enterprise of a nonprofit in Morganton, North Carolina called the Industrial Commons. So we are a program inside of a nonprofit. I've been in this role for about 3 years, and we started our work with my future NC before I even started in this role. So we've been doing lots of great work and have had lots of great support through my future NC for the past 3 years and beyond. So next slide, please. I'll give y'all a little bit of information about what Work and Burke is. So Work and Burke, like I mentioned, is a social enterprise of the Industrial Commons, and we have a mission to increase not only post-secondary credential attainment, but we also focus on making local workforce connections through mentorship and education about skilled pathways to gainful employment for students and individuals in Burke County. And our focus is really on quality employment. So we've built relationships with employers throughout our community and our county since 2017. And we're focused on connecting folks into quality jobs with livable wages, benefits, and all the other things they need to be sustainable in their place of employment. And if you go to the next slide, I'll give y'all a snapshot of what Burke County looks like. Thank you. So a little bit of background information about Burke County here to give y'all an idea of what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. We do have an aging workforce, so about 30% of our workers are between the ages of 50 and 70. And about 50% of our high school seniors enroll in post-secondary education within 12 months of graduation. And then 1 in 6 workers do not have a high school diploma. So as you can see by some of these statistics, we have a lot of work to do, but we've been successful in decreasing the number of opportunity youth by about 4 percentage points since 2019 to now, most recently in April. We received updated information from my future NC that our opportunity youth numbers are around 18%, and they were previously 22.2%, or roughly around 3,000 individuals between the ages of 16 and 24. So we've been doing some good work, and I'd like to think that at least maybe some of our programs help bring those numbers down. And so I want to tell y'all about the 2 programs that we run through Work and Burke and what they do and how they influence opportunity youth in our community. On the next slide. So we have 2 programs that we run in Work and Burke. The first one is an internship program, and it's called Opt-in Opportunity Internship. It's good to note that in Burke County, we have kind of 4 sectors of main employment that people work in. The first one being manufacturing, the second one being textile manufacturing, healthcare, and also state jobs like education and social services. So primarily, our internships are focused in those 4 areas. And this is a paid internship program. So currently this year, we pay every single intern an across the board wage of $12.50 an hour. And this is an 8-week internship program. The idea of this internship program is to give young folks an idea of what it would be like to work in a manufacturing plant or a healthcare facility and all the different types of jobs that are available within that organization or company. So if they're in manufacturing, for example, they're not just going to be on the line for 8 weeks all summer. They might be on the line for 1 week, but they might be in quality control for 1 week. They might be in the offices with like the accounting team or finance for 1 week or with HR. The idea is that interns get to move around and get an idea for what they like or dislike. The interns that we focus on are young folks who are either on their senior survey, they have indicated that they are staying in the county and in the area after graduation to pursue with a workforce or go to a community college. We don't really focus on folks who are headed off to 4 years or are moving out of the county for this program. So we really try to focus on those individuals. And this program is meant to be kind of like a net for capturing young folks who might be at risk of becoming opportunity youth once they've graduated from high school and they don't have connections with their career development coordinators anymore, their teachers, they're kind of out in the world. This is what that program is meant to capture. We do provide some free certifications, OSHA 10 and first aid CPR. And we also pay them for their time that they're taking these classes. So the employers agree to pay them for their time that they come to classes with the Work and Work team on Mondays. And we also sign them up. Every single intern is registered for WIOA. This mostly happens through their adult program since they're out of school youth by the time that they start this program, if you're familiar with NC Works. And every single intern gets a mentor. So their mentor is someone who is not associated with their job necessarily, but they might be in a similar career that they're interested in, or they might be of the same background of this individual, or they also might have similar interests and goals for the future. So every single intern will also receive a community mentor. And the goal for the end here is that interns will be offered either a spot at the company if there is an opening for them, permanent spot, or they're going to go enroll in post-secondary, whether that's at a community college or another credential seeking institution. And yes, thank you. So for our next slide, we also have the JET program. So this is a newer program that we offer, and this is really for young folks who are already out in the community, who are already considered opportunity youth. And you're probably wondering, how do you find these individuals? Where are they at? And how do you get in contact with them? We do lots of recruitment through social media and online, and we also make a very pointed effort to be at every single community event that we can, tabling, talking to people, going to places where young folks tend to hang out in the community and place marketing, or we also meet with individuals from the high schools or the colleges that have dropped out, and try to set one-on-one meetings with them to chat and tell them about the program. This program is more of a job placement program, and we are connecting with employers individually to ask them if they would like to partner with us for JET. Essentially, what we do through this program is provide a recommendation for the individual to have employment at whatever company or organization they're thinking about working in. And we also do a pretty intense vetting process. We have about an hour-and-a-half meeting with them before we make any recommendations to any employers, because we also have to think about our relationships with those employers in the community, and we don't want to make a recommendation to someone that the job won't fit with their needs. And so this is very personalized and takes a lot of time. There's probably 4 or 5 hours of time put into every single intern before they're even placed into a job. So that being said, they can also receive professional development and certificates based on their job that they're pursuing.
Thank you so much, Anita and Sarah, for all your insights and highlighting these innovative local and statewide initiatives and outstanding outcomes. Opportunity Youth is one of the 18 key performance indicators My Future NC tracks. Achieving the goal of 2 million by 2030 is tightly related to the engagement of youth and young adults who are disconnected from work and school. It is critical we learn how to authentically engage opportunity youth as leaders, and what programming and resources are currently available to individuals, parents and guardians, and organizations that work with them. We don't want to focus only on reaching that number, 2 million, but rather on ensuring North Carolinians earn the degree or credentials that are actually needed by the workforce. It is important to remember the state's educational attainment goal was set to make sure our state's economy remains competitive now and in the future. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Please stay connected by joining our newsletter and reaching out to us at any time. Thank you.